I don't know.
Welcome to the G5 Hive and our next installment of our Worker Bee series, where we deep dive into the G5 college football landscape with the folks that know the teams the best. If you're watching us on YouTube, please hit that like and subscribe button. And if you're listening to us in podcast form, please rate and review. Today, we'll be taking a look at the Fresno State Bulldogs, who finished 9-4 in 2023 and capped off their season with a win over New Mexico State in the New Mexico Bowl. They wrapped up their 2024 spring practice with their spring showcase on April 27th. We have a special guest joining us today. He works for the Fresno Bee. He is the man on the ground for the Fresno State Bulldogs. He is Robert Kuwada. Robert can be found at @Kuwada on X. Welcome to the show, Robert.
Thank you very much.
Well, let's move over to the defensive side of the ball. And for those not familiar with the Bulldogs defense, can you describe the style and scheme that they run there?
Yeah, the base is, a 4-3, but they're going to be very multiple. It's going to look different week to week, and that's one of the strengths of this team. I think you got a defensive staff who's been around a lot of football, been at the NFL level, and they're not afraid to mix things up a little bit. They'll match up how they need to match up week to week.
Well, let's talk about the guys that'll be running that defense there and start along that defensive line. The Bulldogs will miss Johnny Hudson Jr., who graduated. He was second on the room in tackles, but they returned their top sack guys from a year ago, and Devo Bridges and Jacob Holmes. This duo combined for 8.5 sacks in 2023, and it looks like a pretty deep room heading into 2024. They added Corey Foreman and Dijon Lafitte from USC and Jairus Satele from San Jose State. How did this defensive line look so far in camp, and is anyone standing out?
A lot of guys are standing out on the defensive line, and like I said, they do have some depth there. They got a lot of guys there who can play. Depth is kind of a thing, though. I thought they had a lot of it last year, and they started to get dinged up late in the year, and the next thing you know, New Mexico's putting up 300 rushing yards on them, and got a little rough for them late in the year. But they do have a lot of guys. You expect them to be a lot better. And like I said, Devo Bridges, he's just a fantastic player to watch. Played inside here, played outside here. He's really, really versatile guy.
Corey Foreman was a former 5-star, and he might have been the number 1 overall recruit in the nation that year. If not, he was pretty close to it. He just hadn't. He was, at USC, never really seemed to get things going there. But what kind of impact do you think he can make for the Bulldogs here in 2024?
Yeah, Foreman can have a tremendous impact here. They're looking for some help pass rushing, and you look at him and you think, oh, he's gonna just light offenses up. He has the potential to be one of the best and most impactful defensive players in the Mountain West Conference this year, I think. So just a matter of figuring out what he can do and how to best use him. Is he a 50 play a game guy? Is he, 20 and just very productive there? But yeah, there's no question he can have a huge impact on this defense.
So who do you think we see out there for that defensive line week 1 against Michigan?
Inside, you have Gabriel Lightfoot, obviously. Kavika Baumgartner's been getting a lot of run in there. Jacob Holmes, like I said, has been getting run in there. And they do have other guys who can play. I'm sure there'll be a lot of rotation in there throughout the year. Keep guys fresh. Outside, Bridges and either Foreman or maybe Jason Jacks will start out there. So I think the front four will start there in that mix.
Well, like the D line, this linebacking group looks deep heading into the season. They'll miss the presence of Lavelle Bailey, who graduated. This room is highlighted by the return of the team's second leading tackler from a year ago, and Malachi Langley. Who needs to step up in this room alongside Langley in order for this defense to be successful in 2024?
You're basically looking at three guys inside. It's Malachi, you got Phoenix Jackson, and you got Tuasivi Nomura, who is another USC transfer. Tim Thomas can also be a guy in there. Basically inside, you're looking at those four guys.
So when it comes to the defensive side of the ball, the defensive backfield took a hit in losing Maurice Norris Jr. and Carlton Johnson. However, this room brings back its leading tackler from a year ago, Dean Clark, safety. Other than R.J. Reagan, who came in via Arizona State, I didn't see many other transfers. Does this staff feel good about this defensive backfield heading here into fall camp?
I think they are comfortable where they are. I don't know if they feel good quite yet. There's still some question marks. One of the guys who got dinged up early last year was Cam Lockridge, who was, probably best or second best corner they had in 2022. He was had 2 interceptions in the conference championship game, and he's back this year. He kind of tweaked a knee on the first day of fall camp and has been pretty much day to day. He hasn't been back yet, but I mean, if they can get him back and healthy and on the field, he's going to make a huge difference at one corner spot. It really gives them some depth there. Again, it's another spot where they have, a good top level, and then you kind of have some youth behind it. So, I think the pieces will come together, but Lockridge is obviously somebody that they'd like to have on the field week 1 if he can get back.
Yeah. Justin Houston missed the 2023 season with the injury. Is he back healthy, and will he have a role on this team here in 2024?
Yeah, that spot is pretty much Justin Houston and Reagan. Like I said, they have another guy, Charlotte and Charles, who can play there as well. But yeah, Houston, he's back practicing healthy. So that's another big addition, because that's a spot that they weren't quite sure the depth would be there. So yeah, he's a big piece.
We mentioned about last season that Dean Clark kind of led this team in tackles. Is that something you expect to kind of happen again here in 2024?
Yeah, I mean he's very active player, very good player. He's perfect for what they do week to week. It wouldn't surprise me at all if he was up there 1, 2, 3 in tackles again.
Well, Robert, Justice asked you on the offensive side about your breakout, so I'm going to ask you on the defensive side. Who's that player that you think is going to have the breakout type season in 2024?
Again, this is a guy who racked up some numbers last year, but Jacob Holmes, really intriguing guy, because there was a time there last year, probably through the 7th or 8th week, where he was playing 10 to 12 snaps a game and had all those sacks and had all those TFLs. So it'll be interesting to see if he turns into a productive, 40, 50 play a game guy, or if he's better used in those short spurts like he was early in last year. But he's really an intriguing piece who can have a big impact on that defense.
Well, Robert, thank you for taking time out of your day to share with us and share your knowledge. We greatly appreciate it.
Sure, anytime.
All right, if you're watching us on YouTube, please hit that like and subscribe button. And if you're listening in podcast form, please rate and review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Thank you all for your support. And until next time, we are G5 Hive.